We're going to also slash something else, the waste in our bloated federal bureaucracy. We will create the new Department of Government Efficiency, headed by a gentleman named Elon Musk, who's here someplace. I don't know where the hell he is.
Chinese President Xi Jinping got an invite, but he's sending Vice President Han Zheng in his place. A few of the world's conservative leaders scored invites as well, including Javier Milei of Argentina. Local press reports indicate he is attending. Italian leader Giorgia Meloni is also attending. She recently met with Trump at Mar-a-Lago. The leader of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, has also been invited, according to the Salvadoran ambassador to the United States. Even former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro said he got an invite, but his passport was confiscated because of an investigation into an attempted coup in which he tried to remain in power in 2023. And Brazil's Supreme Court denied his request to have his passport returned, so he sends his regrets. No foreign head of state has ever made it to the United States for the inauguration of a U.S. president, but not too many U.S. presidents appreciate pomp and ceremony to the same extent as Donald J. Trump. As for Canada, there is no indication that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was invited. The Premier of Alberta, Danielle Smith, is in town. She won't actually be inside the U.S. Capitol, but will be at a party at the Canadian Embassy. She also did meet with Trump at Mar-a-Lago and called it a constructive conversation. Trump's transition team has not released a full list of who's invited, but a spokesperson has confirmed that he did, in fact, invite world leaders.
I'm sorry, TikTok is back in America because Trump wanted his inauguration to be watched. He was like, hello, this is my big day. I need attention. If you guys are all banned, you can't watch it. And that is the reason why this app is back a mere 12 hours later. You cannot make this up.
But I said we need to save TikTok because we're talking about a tremendous... Who in this audience goes with TikTok? Many? If TikTok is worth nothing, zero, without an approval. You know, if you don't approve, they're out of business, they're worth nothing. If you do approve, they're worth like $1 trillion. They're worth some crazy number. So I said, I'll approve, but let the United States of America own 50% of TikTok. I'm approving on behalf of the United States. And the United States will do what we call a joint venture. And there's no risk. We're not putting up any money. All we're doing is giving them the approval, without which they don't have anything. So, I don't know, it sounds like that works. What do you think? Good? I think so.
We're back, and TikTok has released a major statement detailing their future plans for the platform, including a possible permanent unban of TikTok in America. This started early Sunday when Trump issued a statement confirming that he will grant TikTok a 90-day extension to sell itself as part of the original bill, and then he urged all service providers to bring the platform back immediately. Not long after this statement, TikTok began restoring their services in the United States. That's why you're able to see me now. And Trump posted saying that after his inauguration, he will be working to find a way for TikTok to be permanently unbanned, and floated the idea that the United States could take a 50% ownership stake in the platform, splitting control of TikTok with ByteDance. But Trump didn't specify whether he meant for the US government to take that stake or a company in the US. This then led TikTok to issue a statement where they said, quote, "We thank President Trump for providing the necessary clarity and assurance to our service providers that they will face no penalties, providing TikTok to over 170 million Americans. It's expected that TikTok will work with Trump on a permanent solution to keep the app."
It is expected to be the coldest inauguration in 40 years.
Temperatures will be right around 19, 21 degrees.
I don't want to see people hurt or injured in any way, Trump posted. Therefore, I have ordered the inauguration address to be delivered in the United States Capitol Rotunda. But there's limited space, and for a guy who prides himself on drawing big crowds, that's gotta be a huge disappointment. As for the inauguration parade, that will also move indoors to the Capital One Arena, where Donald Trump says he'll show up after he's sworn in. Security will be intense. I noticed it even before I boarded my plane from New York. What are the specific threats that security personnel are looking out for?
Every threat you can imagine. Every threat from the water. If you think out to the Potomac River, they're going to have Coast Guard, they're going to have DC Police Harbor Division out there. To the air, they'll be looking at drones, they'll be looking at aviation.
Michelle Obama is taking plenty of heat for her decision to skip the inauguration.
The man who obsesses over crowd size will surely be disappointed as frigid winter temperatures have led to his inauguration ceremony being moved indoors to the Capitol Rotunda. As for who will be in attendance, Presidents Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton are scheduled to come, but none of the former presidents is expected at the inaugural luncheon. But don't worry, Trump will have the warm affection of the big tech bros, from Mark Zuckerberg to Jeff Bezos and Tim Cook, who have all confirmed that they'll be in attendance.
Just landed in D.C. for the inauguration. When I got on the plane, there was no TikTok. When I got off the plane, there was TikTok. And now that I've landed here, the Capitol's there, but you can't see it. You know why? Because of all the snow and sleet and cold. There's 3 things you need to know about this inauguration in D.C. Number 1, it's cold and wet. And when it's cold and wet, it seems colder than it actually is. Number 2, they have these barricades around everything, and they're constantly opening and closing new streets. So you'll be driving down a street that you believe is open, but then turns out you get there, it's like, nope, it's closed. That's the Waldorf Astoria, by the way. That is not my hotel, not this time. And number 3, with all of the Donald Trump supporters here from out of town, everybody is so friendly. It's not like your typical trip to D.C. Everywhere you go, people stop and they talk to you and they ask you questions. Look, hello. See, that guy waved back. By the way, the bad thing about the road closures is that they've closed so many roads around the Capitol that you have to go 4 blocks out. And when you go 4 blocks out, guess what? Everybody else is on that road. So it's nearly impossible to get anywhere. But the good news is if you're walking, every street is just a massive sidewalk.
Tomorrow at noon, the curtain closes on 4 long years of American decline, and we begin a brand new day of American strength and prosperity, dignity and pride. Bringing it all back. Once and for all, we're going to end the reign of a failed and corrupt political establishment in Washington, a failed administration. We're not going to take it anymore. We're going to stop the invasion of our borders. We're going to reclaim our wealth. We're going to unlock the liquid gold that's right under our feet, liquid gold. We're going to bring back law and order to our cities. We're going to restore patriotism to our schools, get radical left, woke ideologies the hell out of our military and out of our government. And we are going to make America great again.
President Trump's made no secret of his main priority being immigration. He's going to shut the border with Mexico and he's going to restart building the border wall. Then he's going to begin the biggest mass deportation in US history by targeting as many as 1 million illegal migrants, his words. He's also likely to pardon a lot of the prisoners who were sentenced over the January 6 Capitol riots. This is set to cause a lot of angst amongst Democrats and will bring up the issue again of the 2020 election, which Mr. Trump still believes is stolen. During the campaign, he said he'd end the Russian-Ukraine war on day 1. He's since backtracked that to be in 6 months, but he'll start the process, he says, on his first day. Mr. Trump will also slash federal regulations, which he says is a burden on business. He'll end the Green New Deal, which is funding for renewable energy, and he's going to cut funding to woke schools.
All of this as Washington is now gearing up for the change in leadership. The transition team unveiling the official presidential portraits of Trump and incoming Vice President J.D. Vance. All of this as President Biden now prepares to transfer power back over to the man he once defeated. Biden doing what Trump refused to do for him 4 years ago. Unlike in 2021, Biden will be there Monday, participating in the peaceful transfer of power. Other leaders and dignitaries will be there as well, including former President Barack Obama. But former First Lady Michelle Obama is not attending. Neither is Nancy Pelosi, though neither has explained why. Trump's major guests include tech billionaires Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg. The CEOs of Apple, TikTok, and Google will also be in attendance. And Trump had invited Chinese President Xi to attend. The Chinese vice president, we now know, will be coming instead.